All right, here we go. Let's go widescreen. All right. Do the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are officially back to the Uplift Us podcast. I am Coop.
I am Queen Tans.
And we got a special guest today, our first guest on our podcast. We are super excited.
Yes.
Feel free to introduce yourself, sir.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Earl Murray. I refer to myself as a transition architect, and that simply is being able to help people as they navigate through serious, major life transitions on how they can be able to help them to build their next season. Many people they find or they have been labeled themselves as stuck, as lazy, but you're not. Mm-hmm. You're just climbing to a new altitude and you need a new set of skills. And I help you to bring that next life in the next season to you.
Yes.
I love that. That's a good point. And a lot of people feel they judge themselves on being called lazy and being called you can't do it, just self-doubt. And a lot of times we beat ourselves up before anybody says anything. Facts. What do you say to that person who's afraid, who want to take that step one, but just afraid to get out there? What do you say to that person?
Number one, have the desire that that you actually want to go out there, you want to make an impact, you want to make a change. You have to start there. It has to really start from the heart. Don't start something that you have no desire into doing because you're not going to be up to it. But then once you come from desire, you have to have a plan and being able to seriously map out a plan on what this time frame is going to take for you to evolve. You have to factor in all of your life elements, your family. Are you working a job? Do you have a crazy commute? All of those different components, those things matter. And then you be able to work that thing out. So, for example, if someone is looking to start a business and they don't know what to start, at least have in your mind you want to do something that's more than what you currently have, and then outline that plan and get started. And it's going to be rough, it's going to look nasty, but get started and get something done because you can build from that.
Facts.
I love how you say that. I talk to my students, even myself, of the importance of getting your hands dirty. Right, the importance of getting down to the mud, what you want. And I like how you said that. Speaking of the far as a change, what moment in your life where you feel like you had to change, you had to pivot, like that hard truth? When did it come for you, that reality?
Oh man, I've had a few. So I find myself between the finance space and the teaching space. It happens so many times in my life. But one pivotal moment for me was in 2018, where I was working for accountant for a company, and we did the audit, everything was clean, clean as a whistle, and God had called me to take Monday off. I asked for it, I did it. Came back into the office on that Tuesday, everybody started acting funny, and supervisor acting funny, the executive director isn't there, and he comes in maybe about 12 o'clock, calls me into his office and says, Earl, I'm letting you go due to budgetary reasons. Now, mind you, I'm the accountant of the company who made the budget. So if I'm the one who made the budget, how you gonna tell me that you're gonna let me go for budget reasons? And I could have been upset and been mad and try to fight that, or I just had the understanding that I had outgrown that space, and I knew that I was being called to another level, and it worked out because I was able to start doing business full time. I was able to see that everyone was not living the same life that I was living. I was able to see freedom at a different space that I never seen that before. And I shared examples that I went to the gym maybe about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't just the people who were working the third shift, going to the gym, but these were working professionals just like you and I, that they were able to live a certain life, and they weren't just confined to what life says that we're supposed to work. And so from there, it began to open my eyes to see what freedom was, and to know that I must have that for myself.
I definitely can relate for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, I lost my job several times. Several
Yeah.
times. And it's not a good feeling.
No, not at
and
all.
yeah, and when it happened, it's one of those things like soaking it in, but also like, now what are you gonna do? And I think a lot
Right.
of people get stuck in feeling like it's the end,
Yeah.
not knowing
Yes.
like it's the start of a new level, a new
Yep.
chapter, a new beginning, new way of thinking, a new way of being. Like I can cry and I can work towards my goals at the same time. I can cry and
Exactly.
still try to figure it out. But some people just cry and don't try to figure it out. And it's just like nobody is coming to save you.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
So a part of that comes from is that when you lose a job, you lose a sense of identity.
Yes,
And if
absolutely.
I have identified myself as this government worker or this accountant or whatever your field was, I've engrossed myself in who that was. And sometimes we have gifts, skills, talents, and abilities is far beyond what the job really meant. And some of us may have even been unhappy in the job anyway, but because we was, we got our degrees, we got our GS jobs, and we were, for some of us, we making more than what our parents did, even as a sole single person. And so we embrace ourselves into that identity. And when all that collapses, then it's like, what is it that I have to really fall back on? But sometimes we have to really do an assessment of what's really in our house. What do we hold and what do we possess? And because it is those things that's already within us that will help us could climb that new altitude, in which we really need to desire. And it may look different than what people may label as success, or what people label as income, but it's what's in your heart. And when you follow that, the money comes with it.
That's a fact. Can you hear us? Kind of went out. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I always tell him like it's so many adults who do not have an identity.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's talked about enough. Like it's so many grown folks with no identity.
Mm.
And so when they do attach themselves to that job or that career, it's like if you strip all that away,
Who are you?
who are you at your core?
Yeah.
And a lot of adults
Who are
cannot
you?
answer the question.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because they've attached themselves
And
to an
so,
identity or attached themselves to someone or a title of a this or a that, and they have no identity. And so it becomes an identity crisis.
yeah.
That's good.
So we now have to sit back at your 30s, 40s, 50s, and have that hard look at yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and and find out who that person is. And because we've been ripping and running for so many years, so many decades, that when have we really had time to sit there and think
Yeah.
Yep.
and sit back and really do a hardcore assessment for yourself? And people think that's soft, it's whack. But no, that really helps you so that you don't find yourself trying to go into other detours or other or taking yourself down the wrong road again.
Absolutely.
Understand who you are, who you're called to, and so
Mm-hmm.
that it's one thing to know what you are called to or what you are good at, but then you got to know what you are not supposed to do.
Facts.
And
Absolutely.
and if you keep going towards what you're not supposed to do, you're going to spend so much time, energy, effort. You're going to
Mm.
exhaust yourself, And when we think about things, the term of burnout, sometimes we have overextended ourselves into an area that we should have never been in.
Facts. That's so true.
So now we have to position ourselves to move into that space.
Yeah, I love how you said that. That reminds me of a transition that I had to do 4 years ago, right? So I had got another job, right? And I got promoted. And for some reason, I just couldn't enjoy it. For some reason, I just couldn't celebrate. Something was off. And I stayed there for 6 months and I was on security. In the back of my mind, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do public speaking. I knew I wanted to work with youth, right? In the back of my mind, I know for a fact that I'm not living my purpose, right? So having that hard conversation with myself, I'm like, something's not right? So long story short, they screwed me over. They decided they're going to let me go. So I decided to pivot. At this point, I had no choice. And sometimes when you have a dream, have a purpose, right? There are blessings that come with a loss. There are blessings that comes with a loss of job sometimes, right? Even though sometimes, like today, right now, may suck, because that's a real thing, right? Like you just said, as far as crying in the mirror, crying, but still moving on, right? I was like, God, this sucks, this hurts. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do what I got to do, right? I'm gonna follow my purpose, right? And the biggest loss that I thought I was having turned to my biggest W, right? So now it's like, and it may not be like the biggest $1 million dream right now, or case may be, but I love the fact that I'm going to a place that I love
actually
to do.
Enjoy.
I actually enjoy, right? Instead of being stuck in a simulation, was like, oh, let me go to work, and I get it. It's different between you go to work and you don't like what you go to work and don't feel like it. It's two different things. Instead of going to work and you don't not like what you're doing at all, that's two different things.
Yep.
There are people who are making millions of dollars who are freaking miserable because they don't know who they are as a person. Like you just said earlier, strip everything away. Who are you as a person? If I lose everything tomorrow, overall I'm gonna be all right. But today I'm like, oh my God, this is suck. That's normal. That happens.
Yeah.
But I love how you said that hard pivot. It's like, okay, and sometimes you gotta hurt your own feelings. Are you really doing what you're supposed to do? Are you really in that field that you got a degree for? Are you really chasing the dream that you're just chasing the title of the division? Or are you actually walking in your purpose?
Yeah, I have a question for you. So when you talk about you said do an assessment, right? Where somebody needs an assessment of themselves. So people who may not know what assessment means, what does that looks like? We know that the truth hurts when you tell yourself something, right? It's hard to turn that reflection back on yourself, but it's needed for growth. You have adults who avoid turning a reflection, avoid looking in the mirror, for particular reasons. So when you say assessment, I just want the audience to know, like, what does that look like in practice?
Sure. So for me, I kind of took some of the things that I did and actually kind of put it actually into like a document, into a tool. And it's very, very simple, like identifying gifts, skills, talents, abilities. What are those things? Where are you in this season? Where are you should be, where you should not be? Does the skills that I have I outgrown them? What, are there new connections that I need to get? All of these questions to be asked to yourself. Work and begin to work on what those, and work on what that tool work that assessment for yourself. And then it lays the blueprint, because you've already said, this is where I should be going, this is where I should not be going. These are the things that I am really good at. Sometimes you have to, you talked about digging through the dirt. Sometimes it takes a little bit, and see what you may have to try a little bit of this, try a little bit of that to really kind of figure out what it is. But at least you don't have to spend so much time figuring stuff out. And so work that, have those, have that heart to heart, or I call it that come to Jesus moment with yourself. And then you can begin that pivot to move into where you're supposed to go, because time does not stand still. And for many of us, you talked about, being out there and stepping into what that next season is, there's people that is looking for you to give you money, to give you resources, to give you access. But if you don't step into that space, when does the intersection come?
Yeah, they can't find you.
And it's important for us to you got to make is and also when you do not step into that space, none of us really think about we call it opportunity cost, the cost when you don't do something or whatever
Yes.
the alternative is. And what happens when you don't? Either those people go to the second best person, because there's always someone else that's doing something similar to what we do. We just have
Yeah.
a different flair. So they don't get the full you, they don't get you, they don't get the full message or essence of you. They got to go to somebody else. And that means you have lost out on resources, connections, money, and all of that because you just didn't follow your heart.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
And so sometimes sometimes it takes time,
Yeah.
but you got to be able to do it.
Excellent.
Yes. I love that assessment. I feel like it's something that's relatable to everybody, and I feel like it's something that everybody can do. I love when I hear about a strategy or a formula that speaks to everybody.
Yeah.
And it don't go over anybody's head. It's like it's very realistic. It's something that everybody can do. So if you all need an assessment, make sure y'all hit up our bro Earl. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because a lot of people are just terrified to move.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are terrified of a transition, and not making this about a men thing, but a lot of men are afraid to move when you're the leader of the household. Like, what does this look like, right? If I take a loss, how does it look on me? How can I lead a family, right? So how can I be an example of my kids if I'm taking a loss and they look at me as a superhero? In that sense too. So there's a lot of fear that plays in the factor far as even taking a step one, which was that true.
So I think for many of us as men, it's said we still come back to identity, but also we got to look at it. In many households, men are breadwinners, and so if I go chase this other thing, and the comfort level collapses, then I believe that I'm doing my wife, my kids, my significant other, children, I've done them a disservice. But no one thinks about what happens when you go step out there and it does work.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes as a part of that journey of being able to step out is being able to have a person, a community of people who are riding this journey with you that's going to be alongside with you to see you win. And I'm not competing against you, but we on this journey together, and we trying to figure out this next season of our lives out. And I want to see you win. I want to see you doing well. You have the confidence that I compete against myself. I don't compete against nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And let's win. And if we all have that same winner's mindset, then we can never go wrong.
I love that. I want to get into a question. So you've helped secure over $4 million in funding, which is dope.
Excellent.
That's super dope. What mindset shifts are required before someone can even access that level of opportunity?
So, one, it comes from desire, it comes from planning, it comes from really having a concrete plan in place. You can't just come up to people now with that type of money. That was for years ago. I was doing development work for a homeless shelter in DC, and so you had to have a compelling story on why should you all as donors, as grantors, support the work that we do, because there's a number of homeless shelters, there's a number of people who are giving out money to do different things, but why specifically you? What is your special sauce?
Yes.
And that's and you gotta really you gotta really sit down and do the work. I shared this. I'm writing a book, and there's a section that's called "Everyone is not your customer." And so when we talk about everyone is not your customer, you have to define who you are, who you serve, and what makes you relevant, so that every all the noise from everyone else can fade away, and you can fly into who you are. There's a number of people that are out there that may do this type of work, but I specialize in dealing with, transitions from a financial standpoint. People ain't out there doing that, but that's my space, is the lane that I carve for myself, because that's how my life has allowed for me to roll. Everybody else, go do you, go be great, go help your people.
Yep.
I want to see you win, and we
Yes.
gonna win too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that. I know in your bio you talked about working with service members,
Yep.
like navigating major transitions. What are the most common emotional or mental challenges people face in those moments that you saw?
Sure. So my day job is a personal finance manager, working with the United States Navy, and so I work with those service members navigating through those transitions financially. And so you'll see it can range from the junior sailor who's struggling, that I have spent all my money, to the family, the people that are from African, Latino, Asian communities, where you're taught that you have to send money back home to your family members, and I go and tell them that you need to stop,
Mm-hmm.
because that is draining you into a hole, and you're suffering in silence and depression, but your family members are across town, across the Atlantic, and they're getting and they're benefiting. Those people, what sometimes what most people don't realize is that promotions and those type of things are given. Yes, you have to be smart, but it also come with a need.
Yeah.
What need, if you are sending $400, $500, $700 a month, what incentive is it for your family members across the water to do better if you're the banker?
Mm-hmm.
There's no one that ever says, "Hey, let me hurry up and try to get a better job so I can relieve you from pouring out hundreds and thousands of dollars per year." No, they're just going to say, "This is a part of what you're doing because you're the oldest, you're the responsible child, you're the one that we helped to get to the United States." Nah, bump that. The airline says secure yourself first.
Yep, absolutely.
Secure yourself first before you go help somebody else.
Yep.
Because unbeknownst to what those cultures say about sending money, and I'm not against it, is just that you got to do it wisely, is that no one thinks about the opportunity cost of what happens of the money that I sent you in my 20s and 30s, $400, $500 a month, and then I get to my 40s, that one, I may not have enough for retirement, but two, what happens if mama has a major surgery and she's underinsured? But I sent you all the money to put food on the table while you were in your working years and you could have done better. So when the major stuff comes, then I got it. And so for some of them, me sharing that, giving them the belief that they can do it, it frees some people.
I love that.
Yeah.
For some people, they feel that they're betraying their family. And I can understand why, just given different circumstances. But it's not selfish to put you in your budget. And that's what I tell them. If you put yourself in the budget, Craig at 50, Craig at 65, so that when cousin Ricky come ask you for $2,000 and he don't even make $2,000 a month, then you can consciously tell them no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Craig at 60 has my money. They don't need to know that, but it's in your plan.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
So I tell people, if you have having a financial plan that allows for from life to having control over your money, and so that's the biggest thing that I try to share with our service members when I'm working with them each day.
Yeah, I love how you said that. Even though people may make millions of dollars or whatever the case may be, right? So when you don't take care of yourself and you're constantly saying yes to everybody else, and then when you're getting older, you're not able to enjoy any of it, right? So people forget about burnout, right? Financial burnout, a burnout from saying yes to every single person, right? You make sure they good, they good. Then all of a sudden they are partying, they enjoying life. They get older when it's supposed to be the best time in your life, where you're retired, you can travel when you want to. Now you're sick. Now you're stressed out, because stress does kill. Stress does add on a lot of diseases. That does happen. So now you can't take care of yourself. So I love how you putting the power back into you in that sense. So I definitely love that. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that's really key.
Yeah.
You can't pour from an empty cup. I think the best thing the best thing I've ever done for myself was choosing myself first above anybody.
No, it's complete
sense.
And
me choosing myself has hurt so many people's feelings, and I do not care.
You can't, because you have to take care of yourself, your family, whatever your immediate needs are. You can't worry about the opinions of other people. Because they're gonna do what they're gonna do, but at the end of the day, this is your life, and you have goals, dreams, aspirations that you set forth. Why not make those things become a reality? Because in fact, they are reality, because it always started with desire. It's just that some of these bumps in the roads that you have to face in life to be able to help you get there, and telling friends and family no is a part of it.
Facts. No is a complete sentence.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
All right, you can hear me, right? It's kind of going out.
I got you.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right. So I know in your bio you talked about a lot about building legacy, right? So how has becoming a husband and father shaped your perspective?
You look at the world differently. I have to look at these 4 other individuals, and who I'm responsible for, and look into what their needs are. Yes, I still have to take care for myself, because if I don't take care of myself, then then their needs won't be able to be met by me, because I'm unable to do so. So I have to be able to assess what my needs are, and I have to look and see what my wife's needs are. What is the needs of my kids? And sometimes it goes against how I've been raised, of being able to work, and sometimes you got to rest. Sometimes you have to sit down and be present with your kids, and that's something that I even still have to force myself to be able to do, because these are small kids. You know, they're not 10, 11, 12. They are 6 months and 2. And so they have to they want your attention, they want your time, and you have to have the energy for it. I said, especially for myself as a someone who became a father in his 40s, my goal is right now is whatever I have to do to increase my life vitality to keep up with the energy with these little kids.
Yeah.
And so that's how I look at it.
I love that.
Yeah. He's saying 40. I'm like, we over here planning.
Yeah, we're planning. So this is all great stuff.
So this is something that I need to hear.
So let me sit here and tell you something. I became a father the day after my 41st birthday.
Okay.
We was literally going to the emergency room on my birthday for my wife to deliver. So my twin daughters are born the day after. Their birthday is the day after mine.
Wow.
And so they came a month early, I guess you could call it like that.
Yeah.
And so when they came, that was about a month before my wife turned 40. And then our son, who was just born this past October, my wife had just turned 42. And I was 43. So yeah, we out here populating the earth. We populating the earth in these 40 streets.
I know, right?
I birthday to everybody.
So I tell people enjoy it. But you know, that whole clock, you know, people are having kids much later.
Yeah. That's
and you're more stable when you're older. You know what I'm saying? You're more stable, you know, so it's a great thing.
Yeah. But get your patience up.
Yeah.
Get your patience up. There's one thing I had to learn as a father is that, because sometimes my wife tells me all the times that sometimes you talk to them like they teenagers and they toddlers, and it's like they smart kids, but they do toddler stuff. And when they do toddler stuff, I be mad. So then I had to tell myself, they are two. They are two.
Gotcha.
And then and our son, he's growing, he's growing leaps and bounds, and he's 20 pounds in 6 months, and so one of the 2-year-olds is 29 pounds and he's 20. And so it's going to be very interesting to see the dynamic of how he integrates with them and become his own person. And he'll be 2 years younger than them, but he'll be bigger than them. So that's going to be interesting to see.
Love that.
That's cool. Definitely congratulations, bro.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more last question. For someone currently in transition season, whether career, identity, or purpose, what are the first 2 or 3 steps they should take?
So number one is going to have to start in the mind. Start in their mindset, knowing that this is not their end, that this is a new beginning. And for most of us, that valley season sucks. And so you have to look at it as that, hey, I had to climb down this mountain because I'm going up to another level. And what helped me to get to that first peak isn't going to help me get there because it's higher. And so sometimes for some people they got to get a new skill set. Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you may need a mentor or coach that's going to help you walk through this process or season. But then you have to identify what that next thing is and be willing to fail. And failure is not a bad thing. It's the testing to see where you are supposed to be.
Facts. It's a pivot.
So those, yeah, you got to pivot. You got to try. Be exploring. Explore what those things are. But you got to be able to move. You can't get stuck. Don't get stuck in that. Woe is me. I was this person for this season of time. You got to let that go. You got to let that go because there's something greater on the or that's on the other side. One thing that kind of helped me, not just when I left accounting, but for 6 years I was a full-time business owner on my own, and God called me back to the workforce, and I was like a little mad because I told you I experienced a level of freedom, but that I had to go back to the workforce. But what it did, it helped me to understand this topic of transition, because that's what military people deal with consistently. So it really helped to solidify what he called me to do. And as a part of the rewards, we were able to buy a house. We were able to get a car. We were able to do some of these other things, but it helped because I went into a space where I was needed. And so sometimes it may look different for everybody. Your journey is going to be different from the next person who got let go from you in the company, but you got to start and do what you are really called to do.
Yes, drop the mic.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that for sure.
Yeah, definitely drop the mic on that one. I feel like I learned a whole much after today's interview. Also, just the importance of pivoting, just the importance of knowing your purpose. It's the importance of when you fall and you feel like you are falling forever, it's a short-term fall. And knowing the fact that you can get up, knowing the fact that you can get your feelings hurt, but still keep on moving. Now it's like, okay, what does my pivot look like, right? Today may suck, but maybe tomorrow won't. Maybe in a few years, things will get better. So the constant mindset of keep on going. Definitely thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for sharing your purpose. We are excited. Also, audience. We have a mental health event coming up under Uplift Us. Earl will be speaking. We're super excited. So this is just a tease. May 30th, Saturday. May 30th, Saturday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So this is a tease of what you're going to get that day. So
make sure y'all get your ticket.
Pull up on us.
Yes.
Before we leave, any social media, anything you got going on that you want to shout out before you go?
Sure. So you could connect with me anywhere on social media, Earl T. Murray III. Also, we will have, what I can be able to do is to share the link with you in the coming days of that tool, so they can be able to download it and be able to check it out for yourselves. I think it's something that's beneficial to anyone who's experiencing that life transition, and be able to connect with us through social media, or go to earltmurray3rd.com.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes. We appreciate you. This was really awesome.
This is awesome.
Thank you for having me.
As also, audience members, feel free to share the video, like the video, turn your notifications on, follow us.
Follow Earl, okay?
Yes, follow. He's doing some amazing things. So you will see more of us on interviews, and also in person, May 30th coming up, mental health event. We're going to be speaking. Earl's going to be speaking. It's going to be so many great things happening. We'll share the link and everything like that in our bio. So again, thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Peace.
Thank you.
Hold on 1 second. We're gonna edit this part out. We used to hit record. Okay, exit.